Everyone loves superheroes, but it's been said nothing defines the hero like the villain, overpowered villains especially. These characters truly set the tempo for most stories, and what always shows the wherewithal of the hero is their ability to deal with the threats greater than themselves. Should one of these villains show up, the hero definitely has his work cut out for him. I'm Walt, the most gangster nerd on YouTube, and I'm looking at 9 overpowered villains. The Beyonders. The Beyonders from Marvel's Time Runs Out are a race of beings from beyond time and space of the Marvel Universe. During Time Runs Out, we learn that these almost godlike entities wish to study the death of everything, and in order to do this, they have placed a bomb in every reality or universe in the form of Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, with the intent of detonating Molecule Man in every universe simultaneously and thus ending everything. Now, not only extremely intelligent and almost omnipotent, we see these creatures are capable of extreme and almost limitless power. We see them almost effortlessly destroy the Living Tribunal, considered to be the second most powerful being in existence, only behind the one above all. The Living Tribunal appears before the Beyonders, as they are preparing to destroy a universe, and without any kind of real battle is destroyed by the Beyonders with only their words. Also, when the Multiversal Avengers, a team consisting of Sunspot, Hyperion, Thor Odinson, Starbrand, and Nightshade team up with the Ivory Kings, another group of powerful beings, in an attempt to destroy the Beyonders, they are wiped out with what seems like no effort on the part of the Beyonders. Now, the Beyonders are eventually defeated by Doctor Doom and Molecule Man and Doctor Strange, as the universe is being destroyed in the final moments of existence, but only the power of Molecule Man was able to destroy them, which was their creation in the first place. Now, based on the original Beyonder from the original Secret Wars from 1984, the Beyonders are truly limitless and terrifying. There has never been an existential threat on par with the Beyonders, and likely never will be again. Negan. Negan and his saviors from Image Comics' The Walking Dead are a group of vicious, dangerous zombie apocalypse survivors who take what they want and leave a wake of death and destruction. Armed with the phallus mouth in comic book history and a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat named Lucille, we first meet Negan in The Walking Dead issue 100 when he beats Glenn to death after the most intense game of Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo ever. Never before in the series had we seen someone able to shut down Rick Grimes in such an absolute manner. Earlier in the series, we found out that Negan has been taking half of everything from not only the Hilltop community, but also the Kingdom. With a very large group and what seems like limitless resources, Negan at first seems like the unstoppable force of the zombie apocalypse. As it turns out, Negan has done the whole beat one guy to death in front of their community thing several times over, and it apparently works very well. But he also has a rigid code of conduct for his own group, the Saviors. He has multiple wives who are actually his own men's wives. Also, if one of his men betray his rules, he will be severely burned and hideously scarred with a hot iron. We see this horrible punishment carried out on Dwight, in which we see his skin melt and be torn away, exposing the eye. Along with this, Negan has no patience for any kind of sexual violence. When he catches one of his men attempting to rape a female prisoner, he calmly and quickly stabs the man through the neck. Negan is so tough and formidable that it takes the combined efforts of the Hilltop, the Kingdom, and Alexandria to stop him. However, after his defeat in all-out war, he is sentenced to life imprisonment, which he seems to take pretty well, while also being a sort of frenemy advisor to Rick. After 2 years of imprisonment in an Alexandrian basement, Negan is released by a not-so-smart Alexandrian named Brandon. After finding his way to Whisperer's territory, and killing Brandon, he proves he's not just muscle and show, but also very cunning. He manages to get close to and kill the leader of the Whisperers, Alpha, and cut off her head. Now, although The Walking Dead isn't a superhero comic, Negan is most definitely a villain. With his cavalier attitude and always win mentality, he is so formidable that his place on this list is a no-brainer. Thanos. The Mad Titan, the Harbinger of Death. the ultimate purple badass. Thanos' name alone strikes fear all over the Marvel Universe. His vicious nature, incredible strength, and vast intellect has left some, if not all, of the strongest characters in Marvel either dead, done, or stuck. During the Thanos quest, we see him systematically outsmart and take down the Elders of the Universe and the In-Betweener to gain their Infinity Gems. During the Infinity Gauntlet, we see him kill off half the life within the entire universe with the snap of his fingers. Single-handedly, he defeats the Skyfathers, a team-up of Earth's strongest heroes, the Celestials, Eon, Galactus, Mistress Love, Sire Hate, Kronos, Lord Order and Master Chaos, the Stranger, Mephisto, and Eternity itself. We also see him defeat the Living Tribunal and destroy the entire universe except for himself and Adam Warlock during the end, though he does restore it soon after. During the lead up to Secret Wars, we see him team up with the Cabal to destroy a large number of alternate Earths. Thanos has a vast array of skills and abilities. He is a master of dark arts, completely impervious to psychic attack. His strength literally knows no limits. His durability is so impressive, he has taken full-powered blasts from cosmic entities and shrugged them off. He once took a full-powered blast from Black Bolt's voice during Infinity, which had no real effect. Even in the all-new, all-different Marvel Universe, Thanos is left in a place outside of time and space, and still manages to break back into reality. No one in the Marvel Universe has ever really managed to put up a real fight, or come close to matching his intelligence. He is so feared that many other high-powered villains, such as Ronan the Accuser, Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, and others are compelled to follow his orders for fear of angering the Mid-Titan and bringing their own deaths. Doomsday. Imagine a really ugly, really dangerous, really angry Kryptonian lifeform that wants to destroy every living thing no matter what it is. Doomsday is the product of what can be described as accelerated evolution. Created in vitro in a lab by a scientist named Bertrand some 250,000 years ago, this being was designed to be the ultimate killing machine bar none. Doomsday was sent to the surface of a still very young planet Krypton, where he would be killed time and time again by both the very harsh conditions and other predators on the surface of the infant planet. These repeated deaths would be recorded into his genetics and cause him to hate all life. Over the course of time, Doomsday was able to overcome and thrive. He would evolve to a point of not needing food or air to survive, and could thrive solely on solar energy. Eventually, Doomsday would kill Bertrand and his group, then jump onto a supply ship that would take him across several planets where he would go on a mass killing spree. At one point, Doomsday shows up on Byland 5 and kills Master Mayhem, an ally of Darkseid. He also backed Darkseid down as he fled before combating the creature. Doomsday would then make his way to Kundia, where the Kundian natives would manage to expel the killing machine and send him hurling through space. As time would pass, Doomsday would cross paths with Zoran Pell, a Green Lantern. Doomsday would pummel Pell to death, and take his Green Lantern ring and start heading towards the Guardians of the Universe. Thousands of Green Lanterns were sent to intercept and engage him, and Doomsday would kill all of them. Once Doomsday had moved all the way to Oa, he would then be confronted by a single Guardian who would sacrifice himself in such a blast of energy that it ripped an opening in time and space that Doomsday would fall through. Over time, he would end up on planet Calaton, where he would ravage the planet for 3 years, before meeting the Radiant. The Radiant would actually kill Doomsday, after a battle that also scorched around 1/5 of the planet. After his death, the people of Calaton shackled his body and locked him in a gigantic metallic sarcophagus and shot him deep into space. The coffin would crash into Earth with such force that it would be buried deep underground and remain there for millennia. After some time, Doomsday would manage to force his way out and wreak havoc all over the American Midwest. The Justice League would show up to stop the monster, but would be quickly defeated. This is what would draw the attention. The two would engage each other in the epic battle that would see the two actually beat each other to death, though Doomsday would return time and time again all through DC Comics. He would later show up on Apocalypse and defeat Darkseid, even withstanding the Omega beams. Doomsday would then be boom-tubed back to Calaton by Desaad in an attempt to get the monster killed. Superman would follow Doomsday to Calaton and be beaten almost to death. However, Superman would use a mother box to transport Doomsday back to the end of time. Doomsday would return during the Doomsday Wars, though controlled by Brainiac and ultimately defeated. Interesting, Doomsday has a very powerful healing factor. He can generate and come back to life from anything. He is highly durable, and he can take blows from the likes of Superman without stopping. He even took Darkseid's Omega beams at full power. His strength is equal to Superman's. He has unbelievable stamina, as we see him fight with Superman for an entire day without even slowing down. His speed is also so incredible, we've seen him grab the Flash while he was running. Given all this, Doomsday is definitely one of the most overpowered villains. Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul is the criminal mastermind behind an international criminal organization called the Demon, and has been a regular thorn in the side of Batman for quite a while. His ultimate goal is to have a world with a perfect environmental balance, and as honorable as that may sound, it unfortunately requires the death of most of the human race, which he tries to do usually through terrorist attacks using genetically mutated viruses. An interesting fact, Ra's al Ghul is actually over 600 years old thanks to the Lazarus Pits, pits full of mystical chemicals that restore the dead or dying to life. We first are shown how smart Ra's is when we find out that he understood that germs caused disease centuries before anyone else, and used it to kill a sultan that sentenced him to death unjustly. He would travel the earth participating in the French Revolution as well as the Napoleonic Wars. However, as he watched the birth and spread of industrialization, he would come to despise humanity, trying several times to vastly thin out their numbers. During Contagion, we see Ra's attack Gotham with Ebola, though we don't find out it was him until the Legacy story. During the Tower of Babel storyline, Ra's is able to uncover Batman's contingency plans for the members of the Justice League, which he then uses against the group. This actually leads to the Justice League throwing Batman out, until he reveals his secret identity to him. Interesting fact, Ra's has been aware that Batman is Bruce Wayne for quite a while. During the death in the Maiden story, Ra's other daughter, Nisa, comes after her father with a vengeance. She even lands a fatal blow on Ra's, seemingly killing him. Batman also goes to oversee his cremation, but soon after we are treated to the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, as we find out that Ra's survived by transferring his conscience to another body. He later takes the body of a monk to escape from Batman, and later when Ra's is seemingly about to die at the hands of the White Ghost, the White Ghost reveals himself to be Ra's son, Dusan, and gives Ra's his body. After this, Ra's would brazenly move his operation to Gotham City, but Batman would use a false identity with false medical records to get Ra's locked away in Arkham, and keep him so heavily medicated that he would be unable to escape. But the orderlies at Arkham miss giving Ra's his meds one time, and he escapes. Now Ra's isn't to be taken lightly. After being alive for 600 years, he is incredibly intelligent. He has a vast knowledge of just about everything, from combat to martial arts to mysticism to chemistry to physics, even rivaling Batman's own intelligence. His criminal empire has made him extremely rich over the centuries, which gives him almost limitless resources on an international level. He also knows the location of most of or all of the Lazarus Pits in the world, seemingly have a limitless supply to keep himself young. He has proven to be a threat to more than just Batman, as he is tangled with most of the strongest guys in the DC universe. Apocalypse. The very first mutant, one of the most powerful villains and a strict believer in the survival of the fittest. Apocalypse is a walking, talking ass-kicking. Born in ancient Egypt and abandoned as a baby, he would be adopted by sandstormers and given the name Insabaner. Apocalypse would be baptized by fire. As a young man, he would have the tenet of survival of the fittest beaten into him and would have to kill several times. Along with this, as a young man, he would fight and defeat Cain the Conqueror, who was posing as a pharaoh. He would gain ancient celestial technology he would later merge with, and after falling in love and then being rejected, he would take the name Apocalypse and take the world by storm. He at first traveled around the world, provoking wars between nations until 1013 BC, when he would have his first battle with the mighty Thor. He's also been in an on-again, off-again war with the Eternals for as long as can be remembered. Pretty much Apocalypse not only believes in the creed, survival of the fittest, he lives it, constantly testing himself to make sure he stays on top. He is incredibly strong, very intelligent, and a master strategist, and also a bloodthirsty savage. He is the being that turned Nathaniel Essex into the immortal supervillain Mr. Sinister. He's the one that infected Cable with the techno-organic virus, and it was him that empowered both Exodus and Moses Magnum. He does have a flair for the dramatic and insists on having agents do his bidding, even though he's more than capable of doing it himself. And of course he calls these agents the Horsemen, or his Horsemen, directly derived from the Christian tradition. Some of the characters he's recruited as Horsemen are some of the most powerful and feared beings around. Hulk, Wolverine, Angel, and Holocaust, just to name a few. His abilities are incredible, and he has full control over every molecule in his body. He can take any form, be super dense or extremely flexible, can mimic any superpower, can transform himself or any part of himself into anything from a melee weapon to complicated technology. He can regenerate and heal from any wound, can change to any size to be giant or tiny. He can absorb and project energy, and is capable of technopathy and the ability to change bodies. Apocalypse has done some major things in respect to the Marvel Universe. He has conquered Attilan, the home of the Inhumans. It was Apocalypse that rescued Franklin Richards from Onslaught, even if Invisible Woman screwed up everything and let Onslaught escape. Apocalypse sent the Skrull impersonating Astra to stop Magneto from disrupting Earth's magnetic field. It was Apocalypse who set off nukes in Lemuria to provoke an all-out war between humans and deviants. And during Secret Wars, we've seen Apocalypse fight off a full contingent of the Thor Corps. One of the most popular villains of all time, Apocalypse will definitely continue to be a high-powered thorn in the Marvel superheroes' side. The Governor. The zombie apocalypse can make good, decent people into new, horrifying, animalistic killers, and Brian Blake the Governor is as bad as they come. After a life of relying on his younger brother to keep him safe, he would see his brother killed by their friend Nick, and immediately kill Nick himself. Some time would elapse, and he would find his way to a small community called Woodbury. Woodbury was controlled by a National Guard major named Gavin, and it wouldn't take long before he would kill Major Gavin and lead the revolt against the other National Guardsmen who were helping the Major control the town. This would lead him to take his brother's name Philip so that he would never be weak again. He would become the leader of the town, but also take a turn for the worse. He would start having public fights to the death. He would keep his brother's daughter, Penny, even though she had already turned, and began killing newcomers to Woodbury if he didn't like them. Not to mention, he has a large collection of the heads of his victims and keeps them in fish tanks in his apartment. The Governor is responsible for some of the grimmest, darkest, and most evil moments in The Walking Dead. We see the Governor barehanded choke a woman named Christina to death for not joining Woodbury. It was the Governor that deprived Rick of his hand. He also rather viciously tortured Michonne while forcing Glenn to listen to her screams, and he beheaded Tyrese. Along with his cruel, brutish side, we do see that the Governor shows his strategic expertise when he gets Martinez to fake bust out Michonne, Rick, and Glenn, freeing all of them only so that Martinez can find out the location of the prison where Rick and his group stays. It's even the Governor that leads a return attack on Rick with a tank. With the Governor, we see the most complete character evolution ever, from a normal guy to a vicious but fair to a sadistic tyrant. With his cruel, unforgiving nature and taste for interesting houseware, and ability as a leader, even his death was brutal and overpowered. Superman from Injustice. Superman is the gold standard, the original superhero, the measuring stick all others are compared to. But just imagine that he has become evil without truly acknowledging it. The Superman from the Injustice universe is a force to be reckoned with. After killing his wife Lois Lane and his unborn child due to the Joker, Superman snaps. He brutally kills the Joker by putting his arm through his chest. He then decides no more war at all, and goes across the entire planet enforcing it. Injustice Superman will not take no for an answer, and does not suffer resistance lightly. During the 5 years of Injustice, Superman has killed a large number of villains and heroes alike. He most notably killed the Joker first, but since has killed many more, including, but not limited to, Black Adam, Calla Black, the Martian Manhunter, Oliver Queen, Ganthet the Guardian, Mogo the Living Planet, Renee Montoya, Hercules the Greek god, and Parasite. He even managed to capture the entire Teen Titans in the Phantom Zone. This dude is not to be trifled with. His desire to force peace has put him at odds with both the old gods, or the Greek gods, but also the new gods. He even enlisted Mr. Mxyzptlk, who took over as the Spectre to protect him against any magical forces that might attack. He even showed that he may have been totally able to kill Wonder Woman in their fight before the old gods. Even into the video games, we see him cruelly kill Shazam, literally killing him with his heat vision, shooting it right into his head. Once he discovered that Ares had been manipulating him, he captured him and basically fed him to Darkseid. The Injustice Superman is not to be taken lightly. He will kill you quick, fast, and in a hurry. And definitely a less sympathetic Superman. He allows Sinestro to torture and kill. He allows Bane and Killer Frost to torture Catwoman. He even briefly uses a Yellow Lantern ring. All in all, definitely not someone you would call a superhero. Frieza. Frieza, according to Rob over at Comics Explained, is the most important character in the Dragon Ball universe. Without him, nothing would have transpired. No Dragon Ball, no Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super. GT doesn't count, it's not canon. Frieza is heinously evil. He has conquered countless planets and races, killed thousands, feels no remorse, has no pity, and delights and laughs at his own evil acts. His first major atrocity came when he destroyed the planet Vegeta and wiped out the entire Saiyan race, except for Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, and Goku. We watch him lay waste to planet Namek, kill or order the killing of the entire Namekian race. His fight with Nail was especially cruel, taking his time and even ripping Nail's arm off with his bare hands. Though Frieza is very brash and incredibly arrogant, he can and does back it up. He is so overpowered that he was the original, unbeatable character in Dragon Ball Z. During his battle with the Z Warriors, we learned about his 4 forms, and how each form would be stronger than the previous. His final form, or true form, being so radically powerful, it would take Goku becoming a legendary Super Saiyan to defeat him. Something else to worry about with Frieza is he does not require air to breathe or food to eat, as he survived the destruction of planet Namek and was adrift in space. Fast forward to Dragon Ball Super, and we see Frieza return with a vengeance, even displaying a new 5th form referred to as Golden Frieza, a form so powerful it even outclassed Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Goku. Something a lot of Dragon Ball fans may not realize is Frieza was the first enemy of Goku who did not eventually become an ally. Every time Frieza has had a shot at Goku, he has taken it. When the dead were freed, Frieza attacked. When Goku was trapped in Hell, or the HFIL for American viewers, Frieza and Cell attacked. While other foes have become allies, such as Piccolo, Vegeta, Tien, etc., each figured out at one point it's just easier to be allied with good instead of constantly losing, because that's what seems to happen with Goku's enemies. They lose. So, did you enjoy this review? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Walt, the most gangster nerd on YouTube. Take care until next time.